Hello my Canasta friends, welcome to Canasta Class Clinic. In this clinic we're reviewing the basics, tips, and strategies all about Canasta. We're also taking a look at the topic. We're continuing our Canasta Class Dictionary filled with vocabulary, terms, and definitions. We're up to 37 terms. I suggest using a hole punch and punching it in the left-hand corner and purchasing binder ring, which is an oval that you can put all the cards on so that you have all your terms in order and you can find them easily. They're great for references, and it really is the complete guide in how to play Canasta. Please put any questions in the comments and I'll be sure to answer. You can purchase the Canasta Class Dictionary by emailing me at mahjongclass@yahoo.com, and I'll be sure to let you know how much it is for the PDF file. It's also on my website, Mahjong Class, under Canasta. If you have any comments that you would like to add to the video, please do so. Maybe something you found interesting or something that I maybe need to learn myself. I'm always learning and growing just like you. I'm a continuing learner. And please, during the play, also comment. I love hearing from you. Thank you for all your love and support of the Canasta Class channel. Please be sure to continue to support the channel by hitting subscribe, giving thumbs up to the content you enjoy, sharing the video with fellow Canasta friends and family, comment. As I've mentioned, I love engaging with you. Consider giving a thanks of appreciation for the content I put out, and email me at mahjongclass@yahoo.com things you would like to discuss all about Canasta. Now let's get on with our topic and learn and grow and become better Canasta players. We're discussing the Canasta Class Dictionary. As I mentioned, you can purchase this by emailing me, mahjongclass@yahoo.com. Canasta Class Dictionary is 37 terms and definitions, and it's $9.99 for the PDF, and you can print it on index cards that you can have for your reference, or you can just leave it on your computer and scroll through them. It's a great resource for your Canasta game. Tonight we're discussing cards with special rules. Wilds. Wild cards. There's a total of 12 wild cards, 4 jokers, and 8 twos. You're allowed to use 2 natural cards to every 1 or 2 wild card. So you can have 2 aces with 2 wild cards. Remember, wild cards are either jokers or twos. In your initial meld, you can meld them. After your initial meld, you are allowed to use a maximum of 2 wild cards per canasta. You also can make a canasta of 7 wild cards. You can check that out on the wild card meld definitions card. You're never allowed to use wild cards with 7s. Wild cards are only used with aces on your initial opening meld. You can't discard a wild card unless it's your last card in your hand. And you may never discard a wild card on an empty tray. Let's talk about threes. Threes must come out of your hand immediately on your turn and take a replacement card. You put the 3 face up on the table and you take a replacement card from the stockpile. At the end of the game, you will receive bonus points for your team based on the color, sorted by red and black threes. They may never be discarded or melded. If the last card drawn from the stockpile is a 3, you lay it down as part of your other 3s as your base score, but no play or discard is allowed, and this ends the game. 3s may never be discarded. The only exception to keeping a 3 is you're trying to achieve a special hand straight. Let's talk about scoring those 3s. They're sorted by color and scored at the end of the game based on the number of canastas by the individual teams. You get bonuses for threes if you have 2 canastas. They are counted. If your team only has 1 canasta, your threes are not counted, they're negated. The value of the threes will be 0. If your team has no canastas at the end of the game, they are deducted and become negative points. If you have 1 red 3, it's 100. If you have 2 red 3s, the point value, not the individual cards, but the grouping of the 2 red 3s become 300. The same goes for black 3s. So if you had 3 black 3s, it would be 500 points. If you had 4 black 3s, you would have 1,000 points. Let's talk about those 7s. 7s will most likely never be a clean triple or be melded as 3 or more cards. No wild cards ever on 7s, and they must be a pure canasta. If you get 7 7s, you get a bonus of 2,500 points. However, if you meld those cards, as I said, you won't normally meld them. If they're incomplete, you get penalized a negative 2,500 points. If you have more than 2 in your hand, at the end of the game, you are penalized 1,500 points, and that's on an individual basis. So if you're holding 3 cards and your partner's holding 3 cards, that's a total of 3,000 negative points. The lesson here is to only hold on to 2 7s in your hand at all times. 7s may never be discarded on an empty tray, and your team cannot go out if you have 7s melted on the table and they're not complete yet. Aces. Another tricky special rules. Aces have special rules. Aces can only be melded with wild cards on opening, making your initial meld only, meaning you can have 2 aces with 2 wild cards to make an opening. Aces will almost never be your clean triple or melding more aces, meaning 4 or 5 aces. They're never melded on their own, most likely. You score bonus points if you get 7 pure aces. If they're incomplete at the end of the game, you get a negative 2,500 points. It kind of holds true with this as the 7s. If you have more than 2 in your hand aces at the end of the game, you will be penalized 1,500 points. That is on individuals per team. So again, if I'm holding aces, I have more than 2, and my partner has more than 2, I'm going to get a penalty of 1,500 points for our team, and my partner's getting a penalty of 1,500 points, a total of 3,000. You want to only hold 2 in your hand, and you may never discard on an empty tray. Reminder, your team cannot go out of the game if you have incomplete pure aces melted. Let's talk about signaling. What does it mean to signal? Understand signaling. Only keep 2 7s, and this holds true for aces, in your hand. The goal is for your team to achieve 7 7s or 7 aces and keep your opponents from getting them. More than 2 7s or 2 aces is a negative 1,500 points when they're left in your hand at the end of the game. So if you pick a 7 and you already have 2 7s in your hand, you discard a 7, signaling to your partner that you are becoming the keeper of the 7s. You are promising her or him that you will always keep 2 7s in your hand, and you begin counting them in the discard tray. You hold on to those 2 additional 7s in your hand, and then they will discard their 7s and or their aces based on your signal. This would work in the reverse manner if your partner discarded a 7 or an ace. Depending on who discards them, they're the keeper of the 7s or aces. Please be sure to become a good counter of them in the tray. When there are 5 7s, or if you choose 5 aces in the discard pile, you will pick the pack and you will get 7 because you have 2 in your hand and 5 in the discard tray. Please note the counting restarts when the pack gets picked. You have to know where all the 7s went. Did they go into your partner's hand? Well, then you don't have to be the keeper of the 7s anymore. Your partner has them. Or did they go into your opponent's hand? And as I mentioned, this holds true for aces. I hope you enjoyed our series on the Canasta Class Dictionary. Again, if you wish to purchase it, please email me at mahjongclass@yahoo.com and you can purchase it for $9.99, all the terms. It will be a PDF file that will be sent to you. I would also love for you to consider becoming a channel member of the Canasta Class channel. Take your love of Canasta to the next level and join the channel. While all the content is free, you can decide to take your love of Canasta to the next level and support the Canasta Class channel. There are 3 levels to choose from. You can go on the home page and click join and read all about them. I appreciate all of those who have already become channel members, and I love that you support the channel and its content. Thank you so much for being a channel member. While on the home page, you can also search the magnifying glass for any topic of your interest that you would like to learn more about, whether it's the basics, tips, or a strategy. I'm sure you'll find it. And if it happens not to be there, please email me at mahjongclass@yahoo.com and I'll be sure to create a video all about your topic. If you have an interest of it, I'm sure someone else also will. Now let's go on and play on Real Canasta. On Real Canasta Hit New Game, we're going to play Fast Mode, 5 cards of a rank before we need to add wilds. That's our meld base. That's after the initial meld. And then we're invisible mode so we can chat while we play. We're going to sort our cards by rank, put out our 3s on our turn and take a new card for each of the 3s and then pick a card for your turn. Sort again. You're going to look if you have the makings of a special hand. That should be right off the bat, and we do have a lot of pairs. We have pairs of 9s, 5s, we have our 7s and aces. When you have a wild card, you must have pairs of 7s and aces. So maybe we'll try for a special hand. At the very least, we don't need this 4. They threw a 4. We're not ready to open. We have an 8. We can look back and see what everybody discarded. The person on my right threw a 4, my partner threw a 6, and my opponent threw a 5. Not quite ready yet to get rid of that. Let's get rid of that 8 we picked up. My opponent to my left threw a king, so maybe that will be our next discard. So we'll leave that to the right and note that that might be a discard. My partner is opening, so I am no longer going for a special hand. And I threw a jack. I do have a pair of 5, so I'm going to take the pack. Sort by rank and make sure you make the canasta first. Put out the cards that you have in your hand to match. I'm going to put out my 4s. Maybe my partner has some 4s. I don't have any more queens. I'm going to put out those jacks, and I'm going to discard the 6. Now my opponents have opened with aces. I no longer have to hold these aces. He discarded a jack. I don't have a jack. I'm going to get rid of this 5. My next discards will be those aces. I have 3 8s I can put up, and now let's get rid of those aces. Got another 7. I'm going to get rid of it. That's 1 7 in the discard pile. I'm going to put out an ace. I'm not putting down my wild yet because now I'll put my wild on the 10s. I was just going to say I could have put it on the jacks and then he picks a 10. We don't want to do that. I'm going to put out my 3 kings and I'm going to put that wild down. Now he might have a 9, but then he's also going to, I think there's only 1 7 in there. I'm not worried about him getting 7s. Yeah, I think he has a lot of yucky cards in his hand. That's 1 7. We're going to put the jack out and put the 9. I was hoping my partner would be able to go out. I'm not going to put the 7 down. I don't want him to make 7s. I'm going to put the 8 down. We got 1,470. They got 2,140. On to the next game. Sort the cards by rank. Put out your 3s on your turn. Take a new one. Take a card for your turn. Sort your cards. Look to see if you have the beginnings of a special hand. We have a lot of wilds, so not at this time. My partner got rid of a 6, so I'm going to get rid of a 6. We don't have our clean triple. We're looking for 3 of a kind. I'm going to get rid of this 9. That's 1 7. Thankfully, my partner's opening. 9, ace, and 8. Oh, we have 8s. That's good. And 1 ace. I have a pair of jacks, so I'm going to take the pack. And we're going to try to help make canastas here. I could put out just 1 8. Maybe they will think I put all the 8s out. We have no jacks. I'm going to put out, actually I'm going to keep the pair of 9s. I'm going to put out these 5s. We have pairs of 4s, 6s. I have 1 ace. I'm going to discard a 6. Maybe we could pick the pack again. Now he put out his 8s. Now I can close the 8s. That's 1 7. Let's put out the 8s. I have 3 queens. Let's get rid of this 10. I want to pick that pack again. An 8, which is a dead card. That was a good discard for him. Holding strong. Don't have an ace. It's coming, I can feel it. Maybe this is the moment. That's like 3 7s, I think. And now's the truth. What do I discard? I'm going to discard the 7. I think that's only the 4th, and I might be wrong, but I don't want him to pick the pack. I have a pair of 4s. We are going to get a penalty of all those 7s, but there is the whole deck almost in there, and I think we can make some great canastas out of it. Let's finish the aces first. Let's complete our canastas. We have 2 9s we can add. And 4s, let's make those 5s. And we have no jacks. Let's put up the queens. I have all these wild cards. I'm going to go ahead and put them out. Put up the kings. And maybe we'll get rid of a 6. We can't get rid of the 8 because that's a dead card. We have too many 7s, so let's close out the queens, the 4s. I'm gonna have to get rid of a 6. There's one more 7. That's 1 7. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 5 7s. And it doesn't matter if I get rid of a 7 or not, so I'm going to get rid of an 8. And that's the end. We're going to get a penalty of 1,500 points. And I couldn't put down the wilds because there's not 5 of a rank. So there's our 1,500 points. We still made it though. We got 1,840. They never got a canasta, so all their 3s are negative, plus all the cards on the table and the cards in their hand. So they're at 905 negative. That was actually a good idea to pick that pack because we got 1,840. On to the next game. So it's okay sometimes to take the penalty. Sort by rank. Pick a card for your turn. We're at 155. So I'm going to get rid of these low cards. I call them baby cards. And put them over to the right so that you have a secure, confident discard. Put out your 3, take a new card. I'm going to get rid of a 4. He melded 10, so I'm going to do 10s next. So I don't really have enough. I have 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110. Don't have enough. Oh boy, pick the pack with the queen. Put out your 3, pair of 5s. He could have a queen. I'll give him the queen though. Jacks, I still don't have enough points. Picked another ace, so we have 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Oh, I have plenty to open. I don't have enough wild cards to go with the pair. So let's try it again. 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Not enough. He's probably going to have this 9. Yikes. Maybe I could have got rid of a jack. I need another wild card or another 8 or a 5. Oh, thank you, partner. Oh, wilds. Lovely. We're going to get 2,500 points. We'll do a little more than that. I have a pair of 8s. I'm not going to take that. I'm going to hold on to a 7. Let's close out this. And I'm going to put out my jacks. I'm going to hold a pair. And I'm going to get rid of 1 ace. Oh, I guess I could have got rid of the 5s. I wasn't paying attention there. You just put another jack out. 1 ace, 1 7. Okay, I can put my 2 jacks out. I'm going to give it a second, although he only has 2 cards, but I am going to give it a second. And I'm going to get rid of the 5. There's a jack. That's what I want. I want to get a pure. Not going to pick it. I guess I'm putting the jacks out. Maybe my partner has a wild, another wild. Let's get rid of the 10. That's a dead card. Beautiful. I'm not going to pick it. I don't want to get caught with all those cards. I'm gonna put out my 3 8s. Maybe my partner has an 8. Nobody ever put down aces. Oh, she did have 2 8s, but didn't get an opportunity to do so because the opponents picked a 3 because all the 3s weren't out at the turn card. So we're at 6,620. So we're now at 180. They're at 4,640. They're at 155. We both had pretty much the same amount of points for this hand, so that was a good hand. On to the next one. Sort by rank. Pick a card for your turn. Review your cards to see if you have the makings of a special hand. We could go for pairs, but then when we do that, we have a joker, which we need a pair of, and a 2, which we need a pair of, and we need 7s, and we don't have it. I'm going to get rid of these low cards. We're trying to go for 180. Now in this case, I am keeping 3 aces. I'm trying to get to 180. So we have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. We have plenty of cards. I think I am going to open aces with a wild. My 8s I'm going to leave clean. And I think I'm going to put jacks down. And I'm going to discard a queen. Now I have 2 pairs, 9s and 10s, which is nice. I have another jack and a wild. We have no 3s. I'm going to discard that queen. The other team's now open. 9s and 10s. I discarded 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess he could have 2 queens. I know this sounds terrible, but I'm going to discard the ace. Oh, he didn't have queens. Okay, now I can discard the queen. And 9s, they're in 5th position. There's a king. Oh, we got another ace, I'll put that up. I didn't want him to have that nice juicy pack. And I can get rid of 10s. He has 10s completed. It's a dead card. Oh, they're going out. They got 1,650. We got 1,250. We're at 7870. They're at 6290. It's still anyone's game. On to the next round. Sort by rank. Pick a card for your turn. If you had 3s, you would have put your 3s out. Look for the potential of a special hand, maybe zip code. Let's get rid of a 5. That's 1 7. So there's 4. Let's get rid of a king. Two 7s. Two 7s. 3, 4 sevens. That might have been a bust there. So we have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. We don't have enough. Oh, now we do. So let's see, we have 120, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80. Let's see if we can put out our 3 sixes. Maybe we could discard a 6 and then put out our 9s and our 2 jacks and discard a 6. Okay, let's see what we got on more wild cards. Probably could have went for wild cards. Ooh, we could close the 8s. That's exciting. I'm gonna go ahead and put the 8 down and go ahead and close the 8s and get rid of the 4. Get rid of the king. Now neither of these cards really work. It's not going to get us a canasta. Now it will if I put my 9 down. And put my 9 down. Hopefully they have another wild card. Beautiful. Now hopefully I'll be able to go out. And I'm going to ask my partner to go out. Put my jack down and discard the 4. I just won. I thank you for being here, and I'm so excited that you were able to join the Canasta class channel and watch this video. Please continue to watch the channel and hit subscribe. We post a new video every Monday evening at 6:30, so I'll see you next week. Be sure to grab your Canasta class dictionary with all the terms, definitions, and even a little strategy in there. There are 37 index cards. You can purchase them for $9.99. Just email me at mahjongclass@yahoo.com and I'll send you the PDF file. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week. Have a great week playing Canasta. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.